Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. Happy Tuesday. This is a review on a wonderful TV show. If you have not seen it, what are you waiting for? I'm trying to tell you, this show is good for no reason. 911. So it just came back Sunday. It was a two-part season, I guess, premiere. I saw the first part and I'm in the middle of the second part. But yeah, I'm here for it so far. So yeah, it basically started off where it left off last time, and like always with each episode, a 911 call come in and they end up showing us the scenario. So this specific scenario was we saw a big crowd of people and these men that were kind of roping off areas, well, not even really roping them off yet. They were going to specific areas and putting down cones. And so it's so hot. It's like there's like no like AC, it seems like anywhere. And this is like California. And it's like really piping hot for no reason. So this new guy, he started on whatever the job is that he was doing, where he was, putting the cones down and all this other stuff, kind of trying to make sure that the crowd of people are directed away from, I guess, hot zones or whatever. I don't even know why. But anyway, well, for some reason, the new guy decides, hey, I see some smoke coming out from under this manhole. Why, sir? Why? What they got to do with you? That ain't had nothing to do with you. This man to set up here before the man who was supposed to be training him realized he was doing, before he could even tell him, don't even do it, to scream out to him. This man to set up here, and he done pried the manhole cover open, and all you saw was a big explosion of fire that came out of it, and all the other manholes that are around it, it's the same thing happened. Fire shooting up out of them. So the dude got blown back. And meanwhile, at the same time, it was like several things happening at the same time. At the same time that was happening, there was those tours that they do. They'll have people like touring like different celebrity homes and really well-known areas that people might have seen on TV but never saw in person. But if you visit somewhere in California, you'll get to see it. So these people were on a tour, and the guide was driving, and they were driving along one of those winding roads where there are double lines. So you're not supposed to cross those double lines. So people kept doing the most and going around the tour bus, van, whatever you want to call it. It didn't have like windows or anything. And so the guy, the tour driver, he sat up there and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get them. So he sat up there and tried to pass them. And it was so bad. Like, keep in mind, this is like still continuous. This is still a continuous double line, which you do not cross. You're not supposed to go around anybody whenever those double lines are there. And there's a reason for that. You don't know what's coming. So this dude is like, come on, man, let me over. And so, dude and his feelings, and the guy wouldn't let him over. Next thing you know, of course, oncoming traffic happens, comes around the curve, and he's in their lane of traffic. So that accident happens, and they go like, it literally like runs all the way off of this cliff into, and the bus, van, whatever you want to call it, it ended up landing like in a shop of some sort, like way down off this cliff and on into a shop. So it ended up being like this, y'all. It was like literally like this. So it was like went off the cliff and it was like this, like they were like hanging out. So the dude that was driving, he was just in there, just hung, just looking messed up. They ended up having to use the jaws of life to open the door up to get him out. Uh, there were people in various places where all this heat and stuff happened, and they had to get all kinds of stuff done to them because, like I said, there was some kind of combustion that happened with, I guess, oxygen and all that stuff built up underground that caused that fire. So a lot of the people that were on that bus got hurt, and then a lot of the people in the crowd got hurt from when that guy pried that manhole cover open. So it was just a big mess, and I was just like, Lord, don't nobody have time. Don't nobody have time for none of this no more. So Angela Bassett arrives on the scene because she's a cop. So she arrives on the scene because a lot of the time the police officers and the firefighters, they kind of like have to work together. So she arrived on the scene and she talking, and I'm just like, okay. And I don't know what's wrong with me for a second. I forgot what the situation was. So she rolled up on the dude that's like over everybody and was talking to him, and completely like walks away from the whole situation that's going on, and they are both in between these fire trucks, and then they start making out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I forgot about that. But they're like a thing. And you could tell that they liked each other last season. You could tell. And I was like, okay. And I'm glad for her because, for anybody who has never seen the show, last season we found out that her husband, who she has children with, a son and a daughter, is gay and has always been gay. And he has a gay lover. I'm so tired. It took her all the way through. Like she, of course, like any woman, especially with her being a strong personality, I would feel less than and feel like, what's wrong with me and what in the world? And and he did try to tell her, like, it's not your fault, I do love you and all this other stuff, and I always love you, you had my kids and all this other stuff. But she was just looking at him like, but you're gay. And my intention was to be with someone who only likes women. Like, we didn't have that conversation of you're bi or you're gay or I'm bi or I'm gay and I'm into any of this. I don't go that way. So in her mind, she just feels incomplete, less than, and all that. I would feel all kinds of things that I really would not even be able to describe, be able to put into words at all. Like, it's a lot. I was feeling bad for the character myself. Like, it was just a lot. I was just like, man, she was going all the way through. It would be some days she would be so angry that she really wouldn't even hang out with her friend. And her friend is this woman named Henrietta. She is I think she's the only black woman on the firefighting squad on this particular show at that fire station. But if you ever watch the show, you will know her from a lot of other things. She's been on so many different things. I think Dick Wolf has hired her or had her on various TV shows of his. I know she's been on several TV shows that have been on NBC before, but I love her. She's everything. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, they basically are throughout this episode, they show Angela Bassett and the guy who she's, basically dating. And she never wants to go out with him. So, before it really gets down to what it really is for her, I'm questioning, like, are you not going out with him because you are afraid of what people are going to say because he's white and you're black? Or is it because you don't want to be hurt again? Or is it a combination of that and a few other factors? Because, I fully would understand her saying, okay, I don't really want to make this public right now because my kids, even though they're not the youngest, I don't want them to know you like that and, get any kind of attachment to you. So I understand that. But for her friends, especially the people that she actually works with every day, not even at the police station, the people who were at the firehouse, because she's around them, it seems like more than the people at her actual precinct. It's like, how would you not do that? So basically, it gets to a point where he was like, when are we gonna go out on a date? I want to take you out. When are you gonna let me take you out? I want to show you off. We're together. So she was like, oh, well, right now I just want to enjoy us being alone and, just enjoy the me time that we have together for right now because, it's going to happen. Don't worry about it. And I thought it was cute. At one point in time, they were watching Claws. I was like, no, you didn't. It was good. But then later on, it became very messy at times because one day she came over to his house. And it was funny because he had dressed up. Because what he was going to do was he was going to pop up at our house and be like, yeah, so I got all dressed up and I brought you flowers. And he was basically going to kind of try to butter her up to make her want to go ahead and dress up so they could take her out. Well, she was like, well, we don't got to worry about that. I bought Japanese or some kind of food she bought because he was going to take her somewhere. And so he was like, well, if you go ahead and get dressed, you can do that. She was like, because she tried to be like, oh, well, if you would have given me notice, I would have been able to dress up and look real nice for you. And he was like, well, I've already tried that, which he really has. He's really been kind of being like, hey, so I want to take you out. Hey, we're together and I want to show you that, I'm here for you and want to show you off. Like, he really is here for her. So it was so crazy. They ended up getting into it because she kept saying, no, I'm not going out. And so he was like, are you ashamed of me? And at first she was like, nah, but then she was like, yeah, I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of me. I'm ashamed of us. And, she basically made it seem like anything that you could possibly think of is the reason why she doesn't want to be seen out in public. Basically flaunting a new situation. And she expressed how she felt about her divorce and how it made her feel, which is understood. And he was like, I understand all that. And that's why I want to be able to show you off and whatever. She just was not here for it. She was like, I'm not trying to be pressured into doing anything. And I feel like you're pressuring me. And I was like, oh gosh, no. So it just got to a point where he would go to work mad. And it was crazy because even the co-workers were looking at him like he normally is like very neutral or he's very hard to read. But this season, starting out when they were on really good terms, he would be so happy. You could tell the way he would treat his employees, colleagues, all of them that are up under him. It was like, oh, he's all nice today. He's all chipper. Why is he in such a good mood? And then like one day they went out on a call. This particular call was due to the fact that some dumb guys sat up there and they had their friend put his head in a plastic bag and covered it in cement inside of a microwave and wanted to see how long he would be able to survive like that. And they had a tube. So apparently when they did it, it crushed the tube. So he wasn't really able to breathe like that. So he was barely getting air. So when they got there, they had to remove all of the frame and all that stuff from the microwave in order to get to him. And the guy panicked, like before they could even start doing it. And then he ended up like flailing and he made his own self like go into the swimming pool. So they had to dive in the swimming pool, get him out of there, go back to doing what they were doing. And if he hadn't have panicked, they would have had 30 minutes to get him out. When he panicked, he literally had like 30 seconds. They had 30 seconds to get him out. And they were just like, yeah, this is crazy. So, y'all, I didn't think that boy was going to make it. They ended up getting him out. And I can't. And another instance is, y'all, I feel like I'm about to start mixing up episodes. And I don't want to do that. Because I started watching the second one. Oh gosh, I think I'm gonna mix them up. I don't want to mix them up though. Oh, Lord. But anyway, Buck. Buck is this guy who he is a firefighter. He's young. He's like in his 20s. I think he's like 24, 25 or something like that. And he is one of those people who all the women love him. He is basically a male whore, but because of everything that happened last season, this older woman that actually is a 911 operator is his girlfriend. And because of things that happened last season, which was his mother passed away, her mother, I'm sorry, passed away. She was going all the way through. She had like Alzheimer's or dementia, something like that. And it was just bad. It was really, really bad. And she didn't have a life. She wouldn't allow herself to have a life because she was so consumed with taking care of her mother. And so she ended up getting someone to sit with her, which was, I think her name is Coco Brown. She's a comedian. She was in, what was that movie? Single Moms, and she was in that Tyler Perry show as a hairstylist. Um, oh, what is that show called? Why Did I Get Married? I think. But yeah, she's in stuff a lot. Yeah, she's in stuff. Like she's been in a lot of movies and stuff lately, but I first started really seeing her in Tyler Perry stuff. Anyway, she had her as her mother's nurse that would come to the house and be with her. She would forget who she is and all that stuff. Like it was bad. One day she forgot who the woman was, and she had to basically rush home and explain to her that she's not a stranger. Like it was so sad to see how she had to, deal with her mother. And when she and Buck got together, even before they became boyfriend and girlfriend, she just straight up let him know, like, I don't have a life like that. I have to take care of my mama, and it's not gonna work. And he was just like, well, we can make it work. And like for him to be as young as he was, I was very shocked that she was able to keep his attention and that he was still interested in her even after everything that happened. Because one day some stuff happened, and especially after her mama died, he was like there for her. I was so shocked. Like if you know how he is, you would be shocked that he was even caring. The old Buck, for me, I would have thought that if he had been with her, he'd be like, yeah, ain't nobody got time for her. Let me go out and screw some people or whatever. Like Buck is just one of those people that always somewhere screwing somebody, always somewhere getting drunk, getting high, getting everything. Like it's a lot that's usually going on, y'all. So yeah. Anyway, he's supposed to be like the hunk of the all the people that are there. So whatever. But yeah, his girlfriend is gone, and she's on this eat, pray, love type of thing because of her mother passing away. So she's not there. So we haven't seen her this season yet. So she's gone from one country to another, I think. And I think she's gone to Paris, so that's where she is now. And she went from one place to another, and she's experiencing food she's never experienced and seeing places she never thought she would see, because normally she would literally just go to work and go home to her mama. So she did not have a life. So because she saw the life that her mother led and what she, basically saw for herself, she was just like, no, I got to do this for myself so I can, actually say I lived a life that was worth living. And then when I do die, I can actually, people actually can say, oh, she lived a good life. So, what else, y'all? I'm trying to see if anything else interesting happened. It was just random calls came through. there are going to be new additions this season, and I've seen a few of them. One of my coworkers told me about one of them, and I saw her at the end of the episode. I think she was that woman who was in the Ghost Whisperer, the main character. Is it Jennifer Love Hewitt? Somebody. I don't remember. It's somebody. And if it's not her, it's somebody that reminds me of her. And there was somebody else that I saw. This new guy that's going to be a firefighter on there. I don't know where I know him from, but I started the new episode, the second episode to this new season. And I know him from somewhere, but I don't know where. So, yeah. So, I don't want to mix anything up. So, I'm going to go to the next one. And when I'm done with that, I'll come back and do a review, y'all. So I'll see y'all later.